Atheists think that they are a lot smarter than those religious people who live next door. Well, I'm one of those religious people who live next door, and I'm not very smart. And I just read in one of my favorite magazines a sentence that confirms that I'm stupid because I'm religious. Here's the sentence. On average, people who are non-believers are slightly more intelligent than believers. The author is Stuart Vyse. I must be really stupid because I really like religion. There's my Buddha. There's my Quran. There's my Shiva. And I've even got a god you probably never heard of, Tatateinen, the god of Pharaoh Menes in the 3rd millennium BC in Egypt. I read the Bible. I like Jesus. I pray for world peace. I love my neighbor. And most important, I recycle. I must be really stupid. Now, I can't figure out whether I was stupid first and then I became religious, or did I become religious and that made me stupid? I wonder which is which. If I were smarter, I probably could figure it out. I wonder if we could prove scientifically that we religious people are dumber than the smart atheists. Here's a scientific study that is a meta-analysis. I'm sure this proof is conclusive. Here is the test they gave people to tell whether or not they're smart atheists or dumb religious people. I'm going to read it to you, okay? A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Well, the scientists concluded that the smart atheists got it right and the dumb religious people got it wrong. This is called a cognitive reflection test, and it may be obvious to you that the ball costs 5 cents and the bat costs $1.05, making $1.10 total. But our very smart scientists tell us that many religious people thought the ball would be 10 cents, and the smart atheists thought it would be 5 cents. I think that proves it, don't you? Now, they go on to distinguish two kinds of thinking: reflective and intuitive thinking. Now, we religious people, we always talk about our heart and our head, but these smart scientists use 3-syllable words, intuitive and reflective, and religious people are intuitive, but atheists are reflective. That's really the big difference, and reflective people are smarter than intuitive people, and this scientific cognitive reflection test proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. That question about the bat and the ball, I still can't figure it out. I want to just say, okay, Chris Davis, go A's. Now, here is a very smart atheist, Susan Blackmore, and she says that the history of warfare is largely a history of people killing each other for religious reasons. And here's another very nice atheist, Richard Dawkins at Oxford University. He says, I do everything in my power to warn people against faith itself. He wants to convert us away from religion to atheism, but I'm not smart enough to convert. Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers, so he must have wanted peace, but these atheists are so smart, they know better. They know that religion means war. One of my favorite atheists is named Sam Harris. And Sam Harris believes that religion is responsible for war, and if everybody converted to atheism, then we would have world peace. Isn't that a wonderful view of the future? When Dr. Harris reads the Quran, he's shocked. He says the idea that Islam is a peaceful religion hijacked by extremists is a fantasy because most Muslims are utterly deranged by their religious faith. We atheists, he says, need to protect ourselves, and the way to do that is to teach religious people to be non-religious. And if they become non-religious, they'll cease to be warlike. I see a problem there, because if the religious people are too stupid to become atheists, then the teaching won't work. What will we do then? Drop a nuclear bomb, says Dr. Harris. I'm going to quote him. The only thing likely to ensure our survival may be a nuclear first strike of our own. Needless to say, this would be an unthinkable crime, as it would kill tens of millions of innocent civilians in a single day, but it may be the only course of action available to us, given what Islamicists believe, unquote. I would never have thought that the way to world peace would be through nuclear war. We get rid of religious people by bombing them. Those atheists are so smart. I certainly hope Sayed Hossein Nasser doesn't get hurt in this nuclear war. He's a Shiite theologian, and he believes that, and I'm going to quote him, God is at once mercy and compassion, and it is by virtue of this mercy that the whole universe is brought into being and all religions are revealed. Those atheists, they seem to know everything, but we religious people, we only know some things. This is Auntie Jacqueline, the Archbishop of Sweden, and she just published a brand new book. And she says, I believe that God is greater than everybody's brain. To speak with the words of the Bible, in God we live and move and have our being. God is smarter than we are. And if we trust God, God's wisdom will take care of us. But if we're atheists and there's no God, then we have to trust on our own brains. And the smartest people are going to lead us to nuclear war. On the one hand, I feel inferior because my atheist neighbors are so much smarter than I am. But they have only themselves to rely on, whereas I have a very smart God who's a peacemaker to rely on. If you are religious and stupid, I certainly hope you've learned something over the last few minutes. If you're an atheist and really smart, then I apologize if we were unable to measure up to your standards. Blessings.